So, good morning. We are the day after the press conference happened in regards to autism. And I went to bed angry. I woke up angry. And I'm trying to figure out what can I do positive? What can I do positive? And I guess the best thing I can do positive is speak from my heart and experience. So, if you are a parent who wants to listen, listen. If you want to give feedback, give feedback. If you want to leave your opinion, that is your right. If it makes you feel better, venting in my comment section, do it, please. But I feel like a lot of us walked away yesterday from that press conference feeling angry, feeling frustrated. I think a lot of people thought they were going to hear something different that they haven't heard before. I knew exactly what was coming. Vaccines and Tylenol. I am not doubting that that could be a factor in autism. But there is so much more to study, you guys. I feel like embarrassed that President Trump couldn't have an actual doctor who has been studying this come up and deliver this information. This information that's old, by the way. This is from 2024. This is a study he's talking about from 2024. Then he mentions the drug leucovorin, and I want to talk about that. Leucovorin is a drug that's been around for a long time. It's something I've been researching all summer because I'm a recent cancer survivor, if you didn't know that. And leucovorin is a drug that actually helps you after chemotherapy treatment. And I had a lot of issues bouncing back from chemotherapy because I also have multiple sclerosis. So you want to talk about crisis and epidemics? How about the fact that millennials have the biggest rate of autoimmune diseases than ever before? That is a video for a whole nother day. But anyway, I've been studying leucovorin and the doctor, Dr. Fry, who's out of Arizona, who has been doing this study. You guys, it hasn't been around that long being tested with children with autism. Yes, it showed some signs that it could help a child become more verbal and communicate better because the drug itself helps if there is a blockage going on. And I'm not going to try to act like I'm like super smart scientist here. From what I've researched, there's a test that you need to do called the FRAT test. The FRAT test is going to tell you, some of this stuff is over my head, guys, and I'm not going to pretend to be a genius. But this drug could help if you have that deficiency. My fear is that people aren't going to go do this testing to see if their child even has the deficiency and just throw medication at them, like you said. And I feel yesterday the administration was very irresponsible in even bringing up the leucovorin without saying, go do your research, talk to your pediatrician, because guess what? I did talk to my pediatrician. She was fully honest with me, and she said, I don't know enough about this medication to feel comfortable prescribing it. So here was her advice. You need to go to a pediatric developmental specialist. Well, guess what, guys? I just started to research that. It's not covered under insurance. So I'm wondering, does Donald Trump know that? Do you know that even though my husband is working his butt off every day so that we can have health insurance, it's still not covered? So think about the people who don't have health insurance. This is not something that a pediatrician can just prescribe, and I feel like that was the message yesterday. And that's unfortunate Because to go on that medication, you really should be getting the FRAT test. You should be seeing a neurological pediatrician, mental pediatrician. This is not just something your pediatrician should be writing your child. And I feel like yesterday the message was like, we're going to change the label with the FDA and make this available for parents who want to try this for their kid with autism. Whoa. That is so reckless, so dangerous. I can't even begin to wrap my brain around it, and I'm so upset. And it's something I've been spending all summer researching, because do I want to try something that might help my son become a little more verbal? He is verbal, but could his communication flow a little better? Absolutely. But also, I don't know the long-term effects of leucovorin. There's not enough studies on leucovorin. There's also not enough studies on some of the factors in our everyday lives that could contribute to autism. And I'm going to tell you, it is not just Tylenol, and it is not just vaccines. Einstein is said to have been autistic. You think his mom was popping Tylenol? And you think they were pumping him with vaccines? No. Has autism increased? Absolutely. But you know what else has increased in our life? Microplastics, preservatives in our food. I could go on, and I think many of you parents also could. I just feel like yesterday was a failure. It was a failure not to acknowledge that there could be other factors, and what that press conference could have been. Instead of placing blame on Tylenol and vaccines, they could have just simply said, we are going to start researching this more, and we have created, 50 million, I want to say? 50 million or billion, I don't know what it was, to start funding for autism research. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do to make people feel like, okay, you care, you're doing something. But I feel like sitting there and talking about Tylenol and vaccines the entire time, you just ruined your own credibility. You could have made something good out of yesterday's announcement, and you didn't. And this is not a political debate, you guys. I'm going to be really open. And it's uncomfortable for me to say this, but I am not right and I am not left anymore. I believe both sides are corrupt. And if there's anything I learned from going through cancer treatment, it is all a moneymaker. It is all a racket. It's all about lining the pockets of Big Pharma. And I'm sorry. It's true. And I look at things differently now. But anyway, I just had to give my 2 cents about yesterday, and I will continue to research and look at studies in regards to autism, but I am not going to stand up and say, you were right, it's the vaccines and it's Tylenol. It could be so many factors, and please, you guys, be open-minded to that. And it's a spectrum. Not everyone's situation is the same.